Hello everyone, this is Gabriela Bates Salinas and I'm going to be your host for this podcast called Exploring New Places. This podcast will talk about all the places that one wonders and thinks about going without actually being able to travel due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We will explore new destinations, local, out of state, and foreign, of where to travel once the pandemic ends. Many of the destinations will be about places that are often overlooked or not considered because people go to the same usual places that are most popular. Here, we will explore popular and unpopular destinations. You might ask, what exactly are you going to talk about? And to answer that, I will be talking about the destination's food, culture, activities, restaurants, and people. This podcast is perfect for people who can travel yet and wishes they could. So I will try to explain everything that one may be interested when visiting the destinations. Let's get right into it. Today we'll explore one California national park to visit. I'm so excited. We're traveling locally or in-state, if you will. So I wanted to talk about Sequoia National Park. I think it's such a pretty place to visit. If you haven't been there, this park has one of the tallest trees on planet Earth. I have been seeing a lot from this national park on social media. I took it and I thought, this is a sign for me to do this episode on this. I'll go over the wildlife found here, attractions, and restaurants within the park. Now, before we start, I want to give you some information about where you can go to plan your visit to this national park. The website is called nps.gov. Again, that is nps.gov. This website gives you a lot of information when it comes to planning your visit. You can learn about the campgrounds, the safety tips, current conditions of the park, COVID-19 restrictions, and more. So make sure you check it out if you want to plan your visit. This is not in any way sponsored, by the way. I'm just being nice and letting you know where you can go to learn more about the park. Okay, so let's start exploring. I have not been in this park yet, just to let everyone know, and that I'm going to be learning today here with you, my dearest listeners. I hope you get that reference. Anyways, there are many things that you can do in this park. When it comes to watching the wildlife in the Sequoia National Park, there are a few things that you need to know. One, you must keep a decent distance between the wildlife and you, which with the park rules, that is 75 feet or 23 meters. Remember, this is their habitat, so be respectful of their home. Number two, bring binoculars to watch the animals, better from a distance. If you hike or drive, keep quiet and stay still if you come across any animal. Also remember to keep cover if you hike or are watching from your car. Do not attempt to feed the animal or disrupt in any way because this will put you in danger. So always remember this. You can watch over 200 species of birds in the Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park. One of the rarest you can see is the northern pygmy owl, only found in California. You can have the opportunity to watch mule deers, which, the name comes from their ears because they have mule-like ears. Other species that you can, see are black bears, pikas, reptile fish, bats, mountain lions, gray foxes, Sierra Nevada bighorn sheep, California condors, and more. There is a mobile app available to all smartphone users. The app is called Sequoia and Kings Canyon Parks. Here you can access things like your location and a step-by-step directions until your next stop within the park. Even if you find yourself being offline, You can also do self-guided tours to notable destinations in the park, including the General Sherman Tree, which we'll talk more about later, and the General Grant Tree. Also, you can get alerts of what's happening in the park, road construction updates, and more. There are many things, and to not make this longer, please check out the app and plan your visit to create new memories. And again, this is not sponsored in any way. I'm just letting you know of the different resources available to you for you to plan your visit to this national park. Now, let's start to talk about things to do, the attractions that this national park has. You can do hiking, backpacking. In winter, you can go sightseeing without leaving the comfort of your car. You can, in summer, of course, you can go horseback riding and do picnics in the beautiful park. Keep in mind that the majority of these activities I have included here are summer or spring activities, but there are winter activities that you can check out too. For hiking, you can explore Foothill Day Hike, Giant Forest and Lodgepole Day Hikes, Grand Grove Hikes, Cedar Grove Day Hikes, and Mineral King Day Hikes. These are all the hikes available in the park. When doing these hikes, if you're into this, be safe and check the alerts and advice that the park gives you. I know there are some parts of these hikes that you cannot access when there is snow or ice. The hike that surprised me the most from all of these hikes is the Giant Forest and Lodgepole Day Hikes, which include a hike called Morro Rock, if I'm saying that right. If you have to climb about 300 feet of stairs to get to the summit of this rock. But when you get there, the view is spectacular if you're not afraid of heights, because it is very high, but it's beautiful. A lot of people do this hike, and the pictures that you would take there, wow. And if you have pets and you think about taking your pets with you, the park recommends you to make your own decision while keeping in mind that you and your pet are at a higher risk of being injured by the wildlife. Pets are not allowed in all areas of the park. The only areas permitted are parking lots, paved roads, campgrounds, and picnic areas. Going back to the parks and the activities you can explore, it's interesting to know that we must take care of these natural, beautiful places that help us to create new memories. Between the years of drought of 2012 to 2016, scientists documented 33 giant sequoias that died standing. This is so sad. Non-sequoia conifers were able to survive, which is another type of tree, but many sequoias did not make it. I say this because it's important to remember how fragile and important nature is and how much it helps us to do many things. Our next subtopic is restaurants you can visit within the park. So exciting. Due to a COVID-19 pandemic, though, there are many restaurants that you can only order to go. Check for their business hours and how they are serving their customers. Each restaurant has their own rules. Before I forget, keep in mind that most restaurants are open during some seasons only. Therefore, and I repeat, plan your visit before you go. You don't want, to be there and encounter any unpleasant surprises. The Peaks restaurants are Waksuchi, I think that's how you say it, Lodge. It's a restaurant that is open year round. And this restaurant serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Box lunches are available too. Another year-round restaurant is the Grand Grove restaurant. And this also serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think all of the restaurants within the park serve all three meals. The other restaurant, Courtyard and Lodgepole Deli Market and Snack Bar, is open from mid-April to mid-October. There we go. Cedar Grove Snack Bar has indoor and outdoor seating. This is another restaurant. Cedar Grove Snack Bar has indoor and outdoor seating, but this restaurant is open seasonally from late May to mid-October. And it also serves, like I said, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most of the restaurants do. So make sure you're checking the business hours and, the kind of food or, your preferences before you go. Now it's time for the fun facts. I have 3 fun facts that are interesting to learn. Fun fact number 1 is that giant sequoias grow only on the western slopes of the Sierra Nevada in California, between 4,000 and 8,000 feet in elevation. Fun fact number 2 is that the General Sherman tree is the world's largest tree measured by volume. It stands 275 feet tall. That is 83 meters tall, and is over 36 feet in diameter at the base. So just imagine how tall this tree is. It's the world's largest tree. That is so interesting. Fun fact number 3 is that in September of 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Wilderness Act, which made the preservation and protection of wild places a national priority. As a result of that act and consequent state federal legislation, Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park currently protect over 808,000 acres of designated wilderness, in addition to the 29,500 acres of proposed wilderness. We have reached the end of today's episode number 2 of Exploring New Places. I hope that you learned some interesting and fun facts about this national park. I invite you to leave a comment with a mountain emoji on our Facebook page, which is @ExploringNP. By the way, the E is capitalized as well as the N and P, so it's Exploring NP. This will tell us that you are considering going to this national park. And also don't forget to let me know what countries or states you would want to explore, listen, and learn more about. Stay tuned for our next episode, in which we will be going over a new destination that should not be overlooked by you. Thank you for your time.